Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
We're the Habibi Bros. Welcome to another episode of Habibi Power Hour. It's a hybrid episode tonight. We're doing a lot of things. We're experimenting.
Yeah.
You know,
just like in college.
You know, experimenting with each other, experimenting with each other's bodies, you know,
like
exploring,
going
on expeditions.
Yes. Through the cracks, crevices, the valleys,
and the peaks.
Yes.
And the mountaintops.
Mm-hmm. Even though it's just like a 2.5 inch incline. But I mean, hey, the peaks are the peaks.
And then you have your vinegar glaciers.
Man, honestly, I'm sorry because I actually came on your wall the other day and the paint's coming off.
Wait, hold on. Which wall?
Oh, dude.
Doesn't matter. We're renting. Doesn't matter. Guess I'm never getting that security deposit back. We're actually very honored, and this is long overdue. We've been wanting to do this for some time, and I think the reason why we didn't do it is because we just didn't have our shit together. So, without further ado, Jay, I'd like to announce we're both gay.
Hey.
And we're actually entering a throuple.
Yes.
With our Habibi, who has been a Habibi longer than he's known he's been a Habibi, and that is Tommy Kerrigan of Tommy's podcast. Get in here, Tommy. Maybe my producer could actually bring him in. There we go.
Man. I was like, am I supposed to I like that. I didn't like the vinegar valley. Said that was disgusting. That was literally disgusting.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
Right. I'm glad that we were able to put new ideas in your mind.
Yeah. Are you going to challenge and punish us for wrong think?
I never said it was a new idea. I just didn't like it. I mean, we've all thought about fucking being breastfed by Dick Cheney. It's just sometimes you don't say it out loud.
I mean, we're known for saying things that no one else will say.
Right.
Have you met? I mean, first of all, you just met Jay, but have you met Jay?
I've been texting Jay for over a day now. I'll have you know.
It's been wonderful.
That's legit. That's fair.
Yeah, nothing behind your back.
Nothing around the back.
No, we're like dictating where the back shots were going to be on your back.
That's right.
We weren't talking behind your back. We're talking about your back.
Yes. Do you see Dylan Mulvaney came out with a song about like being a girl and walks of shame and taking prescription drugs? I saw that today, and someone was like, the fact that a dude's wearing a wig and talking about being a whore and how he can't remember who he hooked up with is the funniest goddamn thing I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, I thought that's a prerequisite to being a woman, is it not?
I don't know, man. I've stopped hating him. I'm starting to love him. I'm trying to love him for just leaning totally in and being like, fuck. Everyone's like, we're in clown world, and he's like, and I'm gonna cash in on it. He's leaned in more than any of us ever have.
One thing I really like about him is that he proves stereotypes are real. And I actually did an experiment the other night when this first came out too. So what I did was I made sure to jerk off to Dylan Mulvaney and then jerk off to Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
And whoever I come for like faster to is the real woman.
Honestly, I respect it.
Scroll back to the beginning of this video.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen or watched
it. But just, that right there, it looks like Band of Brothers when they fucking liberate Auschwitz. That's what he looks like. He's just coming out like they're holding like the BAR.
Oh my god!
You can't look at it. I mean, he's
Speaking of Tommy, it looks like you were acquitted at Nuremberg.
I was. I didn't actually know if that would appear. I just wanted to test.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much. They can't prove anything. They had black and white cameras.
They got no evidence on
it. Nothing on me. No, it's all ashes.
These are the days. These are the days. These are the days of girlhood. These are the days. These are the days. These are the days of girlhood. Every day, you raise a shine. They're all mine. If you're thin, I'll be alright. Got my dolls by my side. These are the days. These are the days. These are the days of girlhood.
Wow. This is
where I came right here.
Right here.
Right. Yep.
specifically with the broad shoulders.
Boom.
Right when she's doing the.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at the size of those hands.
It looks,
Look at the deltoids. It's actually kind of.
bro, look at those forearms.
He's kind of fucking jacked.
Yo, he's cranking it still.
Fuck yeah, of course he is. What is he not? You can stop jerking off.
I know, seriously.
That is the funny thing. Is like this guy still jerks off, and we all have to pretend he's a beautiful woman. He absolutely still fucking jerks off.
This guy.
It's the same thing like with the the Penn State guy, Riley.
Sandusky. I was about to say Jerry
I'm not even trying to. That's the only person I know.
No, the swimmer.
Oh yeah.
Ian Thomas. So while he was going into the into the locker rooms and everything, he was still fucking women.
Yeah.
Still cranking it.
I mean, that is like the pinnacle of like being able to get away with.
Honestly, that is a get out of jail free card every time.
He probably even like Bill Cosby's them, and nobody bats an eye.
No, it's brilliant. I'm looking at it less and less as dystopian, and more as like these guys are total chads. They're reading the field and they're playing. They're operators. They're playing the game.
The great thing about this is that they looked at the landscape and they said, you know what? I can be a better woman than all these women. And they went out and they fucking did it.
It's inspiring. It's legitimately inspiring.
Women's History Month. These
700th as a man. I'm number one as a woman.
Exactly.
Incredible. It's legitimately incredible.
Honestly,
I'm waiting for the time where one of these guys, like LeBron James, is 56 years old and goes into the WNBA and just
starts tomahawk winning.
Yeah,
tomahawks.
Starts Vince Cartering like every possession.
But what's so great about it is that also
WNBA player in the world,
$400 billion a year.
I don't care who you are; they are making women's sports watchable again.
Well, yeah, it depends on the sport, though. Like swimming, I don't give a fuck.
I guess that's true. I mean, it's not like
actually, you kind of do, because then you see how they do the tuck to get in. Because
wait, do you tuck it down or tuck it up?
Me, I can't tuck it down because like it gets way too stiff and it doesn't go the other way.
Okay,
it just goes up. Like
what's more like it wouldn't. What's the equivalent of aerodynamic in the pool? Aquadynamic?
Oh no, you would want
hydrodynamic.
You would want it up because if you have it down, you'll have it like slowing you down.
Are you sure?
A little bit of a rudder.
Yeah,
I think you would want to pull it up. It reduce.
You want to put it up. Yeah, you don't want to tuck it in. That's not going to work.
Do you think this is? I mean, it's just. I'm like half kidding. Do you think this is like a? Do you think this is like a fucking 10-year long pre-World War III psyop to condition everyone to that like they're going to be drafting women?
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. That's an interesting theory I hadn't thought of.
Because it's long enough that it's not like in the. I mean, I'm being dead serious here. It's long enough that it's not like in the emergency of war breaking out. They're slowly moving. I mean, look how much things have changed in 4 years, in 8 years since Trump was elected. I mean, is it at a point where like they're reading like the landscape, like DARPA, DOD? They've probably got some like hyper intelligent AI war gaming in the Pentagon, and they're looking out and they're going, by 2028, we're going to be at war with China. We might need a legitimate meat grinder. And they just, they just dial it, and they're like, men or women.
I think it's also so they don't have men actually like dodging the draft.
Well, that too.
Woman, like so now
you're doubling the enlistment pool.
Actually, that actually might be the most insane, but the most logical thing I probably have heard.
Dude, the amount of fucking, and not to go just from immediately into my schizophrenic like comfort zone, but dude, there's this admiral giving this speech in 2004, and I was on Twitter before I was banned from Twitter, but he's talking about how like they only needed $700 billion a year, but how they were asking for $800 billion a year, so they could skim off $100 billion a year. Because how else would you put together $2 trillion for a massive war without everyone seeing it? You do it over 20 years. And he's giving this speech in the summer of 2004, and he goes, "And we will be getting ready for a war in the Taiwanese Strait in summer 2024." And everyone in the crowd's chuckling because we had just invaded Iraq. But dude, they scale shit. During the Korean War, they were talking about how the next war, DARPA was talking about how the next war is going to be a jungle war 10 years before we went to Nam. They fucking we put $1 trillion a year into the DOD. we are very good at it, including like wargaming and planning it.
Oh,
Who's to
here's
say
the
they didn't
biggest-
look at this and they were
here's the
like, hey,
biggest-
we're gonna need all the girls to also be carrying chains of ammo.
Here's the biggest mindfuck and probably the biggest psyop is that they're all very good at it, but they give off the impression that they're not good at it, that it's all incompetence, that they're losing
The
money. left and
madman
right.
theory under Nixon was ployed together by the top people in a plan called Furtherance. There were only like 10 people had the copies of. Kissinger was one of them. And it was to leak things that said, oh,
So
between
really-
generals talking about going, man, Nixon's really crazy. He might use the H-bomb in Nam. We're leaking it to the Soviets to make it look like they had intercepted our top guys talking to one another saying,
Right.
man, we can't. That was at the highest level. Like
Right.
Nixon signed off on it. He was like, yeah, call me crazy. Like, this is fucking insane. That was 50 years ago. Like,
That was actually legit 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And Nixon signed 50 years ago in what, August? Yeah, it'll be what? I don't know the exact date.
Look at that. 50 years in the anniversary of Nixon leaving office, we're going to go to war in Taiwan against the Chinese.
Inshallah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Man.
oh yeah.
So Tommy,
Yeah, hell yeah, let's do
Tommy,
this.
before we get really into it, first of all, where can people find you?
Really only on Rumble. I'm kind of banned from iTunes, Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm banned from. So really on
No, that leads to my follow up. Why were you banned?
YouTube was just interviewing like doctors. Twitter was
and Robert Malone, right?
yeah.
two
Before
main-
they went on Rogan, and then they went on Rogan, and everyone's like, you should get these guests. I'm like, I've been permanently banned from YouTube before y'all have
Because
ever
I
heard
had
of them.
those guests.
You fucking retards. And then Twitter was I just kept repeatedly getting drunk and tweeting. I'd retweet pictures of trannies and just say, do it, Putin. And just like, and they said it was inciting violence. And I said, I never said what I was going to do. Or I just saying, do it, Putin. And then I got put back on. And I like the first night back, I was like, do it, Putin. And they've kicked me off again. So literally on Rumble, Tommy's podcast, TOMMYSPODCAST.
Yeah, we
Have
actually.
you tried coming back on with Elon?
I got put back on under Elon.
You did.
And then
okay.
he got
Yeah.
permabanned under Elon
Yeah,
too.
I said
Oh,
do
you
it,
did?
Putin, and then I did. You know how they put the clapping hands between things? They're like, trans women are women. I literally was
Dude,
just gaming one
dude.
night. I just said trans people aren't people. Do it, Putin, and they kicked me off. So I mean, yeah, they don't.
That's
Oh man.
I mean, I'm starting to get shadow banned. I got
Just get banned,
a
dude.
2-day suspension. Well, I've been banned.
banned.
Yeah, he's banned 13 times on your 14th account.
Yeah,
This is probably the longest you've been on an account. It's
Yes.
been almost 3 years since you've been banned.
Yes,
But you've been shadow banned, as we learned today.
we learned that today. I was
Yeah.
shadow banned, and
Yeah.
I honestly,
yeah.
I think it's because of the tweet I sent of a selfie of me in the gym saying I'm not gay, I fuck women.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Someone put you on the list for that too.
Yeah, they put me
That's
on a list. Of
amazing.
liars.
I mean,
Literally after I post that, some random bot put me on a list called liars.
That's great. That's fantastic.
honestly, that's great publicity.
It really is.
No, it really is.
So Tommy, one of the things that Spencer, our producer, asked you was what's the craziest? What was the question?
We were before we got on, we were talking about the craziest comments we got on Rumble.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he had all of these doctors come on,
Mhm.
and after it was really the way he put it was like there's a correlation between the smarter
It's-
people you have on and
It balances it out. The smarter people you get, the universe balances like an electrostatic attraction. I always thought I would bring in smarter people. Smart people watch. They don't comment. They don't thumbs up or thumbs down. They just watch and ingest it and go about their lives doing smart people things.
Mhm.
Retards start screaming, and that's what people do in my comments, which is fine. I like it. Any comment drives the algorithm, I think. But my favorite one is the one where it's like whatever time I had Dr. Malone on. I mean, the things get crazier and crazier, right? It's like not only are the vaccines bad, but they're full of snake venom, and it's like that's no. But it would just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. To finally, it was the demons that will come down during the rapture, like chewy food. They like their meat well done. So the elite, being slaves to the winged demons, then the cloven feet, they're giving us all these shots because you know how you get those like white stringy blood clots. They're turning us into beef jerky for their demonic overlords. And someone said that with a straight face and then like linked to like a Wikipedia page to Revelations. And I was just like, hey, thanks for sharing, like and subscribe, like join the locals.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like at that point, like
That's
you
my
almost have to
favorite.
You have to applaud that they take the time out of their day to write such a comment.
Right.
You know,
But
and like
it's
this
not,
stuff
they're not
that we
memeing.
get-
They're not memeing.
No, I know they're not memeing, and like if they were, they would be putting that on a different website, like
They would-
Twitter or
exactly.
Instagram or something like that.
Precisely.
But no, they
No,
put
I
it
don't-
on Rumble.
On Rumble.
Yeah,
So
no,
good.
I don't get that.
Unfiltered comments ever on
Yeah.
Rumble. It's funny.
So Tommy, we're gonna do a couple things. For one, first of all, we're gonna have you take Shahada, right?
Right. So you lift
So-
your right finger,
Led
and then
by Jay.
repeat after me. You say Ashhadu
Ashhadu
an
ilah
ilahi
ilahi
illallah
illallah
illallah wa Muhammad
wa Muhammad
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
Boom! That's good enough.
That's good
Hell
enough.
yeah! Fucking
Welcome.
fuck Tower 7. Let's do
Welcome.
it.
You are now.
All right.
You are now we finally found a Muslim who is whiter than Sean King.
Fucking
Well,
let's do it.
welcome.
Let's do
Let's
it.
get-
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Take
Actually,
down
I
the
would-
great.
I would
Take
actually-
down the
I would-
great Satan.
I would actually argue that Sean King is still whiter than you, Tommy.
No.
I'm I don't think so. And
No,
then
look at
and
this.
and luckily now you get
Ooh, you've been working out. Look
you
at
get,
that.
you get 2 years of
You have a life
Flight Simulator. Yeah.
I'm fucking so excited to be jihad. It's 20 years ago that would have been like a funny like, oh, you said the jihad thing. I think it's legitimately dangerous, more dangerous now to be a straight white guy. Like 20 years ago, like that's old school. Like, you know, that's like saying, oh, I'm a crowd. Like no one gives a fuck. It's been 80 years. Like no, to be a white straight guy who jerks off to tits. Like it's 2003 and like George Bush is like looking at my pictures and they're like, we're gonna smoke them out. We're gonna find them. Like I am the new great Satan, and I'm proud of it.
Hey, you know, you gotta wear that badge or that arm lapel.
I gotta wear that fucking leather Hugo Boss
that
suit,
pearl
right?
necklace later on
Yeah.
tonight.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what you gotta wear.
Hell
Yeah.
He gets it. This guy gets it. So, real quick, you saw that the House actually voted to pass. They actually passed the quote unquote ban on TikTok.
Yes.
They did.
They did. That was yesterday.
It was like, and it was pretty.
It was actually fairly bipartisan
Yes.
and overwhelmingly supporting the ban. Both
Which is when they all agree on something that the hair on your neck should.
yeah,
stand.
that's the thing, and this is what's really weird is that they specifically it's for some reason it's like dividing people across party lines. I mean, like within party lines, I should say.
No, it's
Right?
yeah, it is.
Well, anyone with
Uh,
half a brain has to look at the press. I mean, not even trying to be funny. We saw the Patriot Act. We saw
Right.
the domestic spying. We saw Department of Homeland Security fusion centers where they took tactics from Guantanamo Bay and Abu Ghraib and started moving it into domestic facilities. How many months, not even years, until you think that they're going to remove Rumble or BitChute or something, and they're going to put on
Right.
the same guys that said Trump was a Russian? They're going to roll it out with Rumble.
Yeah. So specifically, what they in the language in the actual here. Let me go ahead and share my screen just so you can see exactly what I'm seeing. This is from Thomas Massey, a Republican from Kentucky. He specifically highlights. Well, actually, let me go to his tweet and not the actual. So he says the so-called TikTok ban is a Trojan horse. The president will be given the power to ban websites, not just apps. The person breaking the new law is deemed to be the U.S. Or offshore internet hosting service or app store, not the foreign adversary. And he specifically highlights a section where it says the foreign adversary controlled application. The term foreign adversary controlled application means a website, a desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application that is operated directly or indirectly by. Oh, did he not continue? God damn it, Thomas.
Well, of course. I mean, he didn't want to. It's controlled by a foreign adversary, and it's going to be like who they deem as foreign adversaries. So right now, that's the CCP, Iran, Russia, and
so
North
Rumble.
Korea.
Rumble is a Canadian company.
Rumble.
Well, now
that's-
they're a U.S. company,
they're
but-
a U.S. company,
right? They have a
Yes.
U.S. but TikTok has a U.S. branch too, don't they? Do they not?
Yeah, but their major
ByteDance is Chinese.
ByteDance is Chinese, and
So-
anything that's with, and also what you guys have to know is that the CEO of TikTok completely lied to Congress about whether or not what it is that the CCP does and does not
Yes.
receive from the data collected by TikTok.
So for some reason now we're basically staking our lives on TikTok by defending it, are we not? Because of whatever precedent this sets, and if it's getting bipartisan support by the quote unquote establishment on the Hill, that obviously means it's going to be bad for the rest of us, right, Tommy?
Yeah,
Right. I mean,
don't look at things in terms of it's Republican or Democrat. Just look at it and think, if are you okay with the politician you hate most in this life being the president and having these powers? That's all it is. Imagine it's the president you hate most. So right now, imagine for all the liberals that like it, imagine Donald Trump has these powers, and he will if he wins in November. He's going to be able to remove anything that he deems a foreign adversary. Are you okay with that? No, you're not. What happens when he removes Reddit? What happens when he removes fucking Twitter and says, all these pro illegal immigration videos are, this is a foreign adversary, we're taking him down. The people that are going to be fucking screwed. What if he calls Dylan Mulvaney a foreign asset and fucking takes it down?
Hold on,
you're
Tommy.
making some really good points.
Actually,
here.
Tommy, now you've actually convinced me. This thing is fucking kicks ass.
This thing is pretty solid.
Siraj is like, now will they wrap him up and his family? Will they all be worked to death in the labor camp?
Tommy, please stop making this sound so fucking cool.
Right.
You guys just booed me from the show. Like, this is great. Fucking, you're like, Sig Heil. Let's fucking take him down.
Oh yeah.
No, it'll be the thing you hate most about it will be used against you. Well, yeah, exactly. No, but think about it. All the same shit they used right after 9/11 for an existential threat is eventually rolled up and used on you. All this domestic spying, all the stuff that Snowden leaked, Echelon, X Key Score, Stellar or Solar Winds, whatever the fuck the name of the programs were. These were all things that started looking outwards, and then after 9/11 looked inwards, because we can't have fucking towers falling in Lower Manhattan, and eventually it's used on you and I. The same shit's going to happen. They're good at letting it cook for like a year, but they'll start dialing it up towards BitChute, Rumble, Brighteon, CloudHub, whatever the fuck you want. They'll start taking them down one by one.
So you don't think that's this idea? So we got a comment from Master Thief over in our local saying foreign adversaries are Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran. And then he says that whatever, I guess he's calling bullshit on all of this. I don't know. There's a section here. Master Thief, you're gonna have to be a little bit more specific. I don't know if there's
people that are cheering this on are the same fucking retards who are saying we gotta go get the weapons of mass destruction from Saddam Hussein, who had nothing to do with 9/11. It's the same shit.
Right, but we do have to do it to the CCP.
I'm all for nuking China.
Absolutely.
Let's not dance around it. Let's get it done and be done.
And I'm also I like to use their own like climate change as an existential threat for society. So why am I like trying to get rid of somebody's minivan and some other mother's stove oven when the real threat to climate change is China? If you nuke China, you get rid of 38% of the carbon emissions and stuff, and you save the world.
So you don't think that that the specific term foreign adversary is going to be you think that term foreign adversary is going to be abused by presidents in the future?
Well, I mean, and not even being completely serious. I mean, look what we just saw with 4 years of Trump. They said he was a Russian asset, and it's not even floated as like an SNL joke anymore. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, that whole thing. We just don't address it anymore. It's like we just left the Middle East and we just went, they lied and we spent $10 trillion and killed 1 million people and we fudged it. Next, like no one gives a shit. What makes you think that they won't just immediately start going for if they can do it to a sitting president? Why can't they do it to a corporation, like a shitty backwater, like alternative website?
Oh no, I don't see. I definitely could see them doing that.
Yeah. And all you got to do is just find a fucking server from something. And from the same way that the NSA was able to spy on you, is they could use up to, I think, 4 degrees of separation. So if someone in your phone book lived in a foreign country, technically everyone in that tree was now considered partially a foreign adversary. And so they could theoretically spy on literally anyone. Okay, you have 2 Rumble servers in Toronto or something? Foreign adversary.
Canada is a foreign adversary.
They are. They also have to die.
What would be in the language in the bill in order to allow something like this to go forward? Because I don't think we should have CCP having any kind of anything from like news, media, anything like that.
I had on two guys this morning. I had Dr. Sorry to interrupt. I had Dr. Thayer and former naval captain James Fennell on today to talk about their book, like something about China. And I've had on generals before, like Brigadier General Robert Spalding from Obama's National Security Council. I've had on these guys before, and they said this morning they're like, they're for the banning of TikTok. And I made a point at the very end. I was just playing devil's advocate here. Like, an entire huge thing is called elite capture, and it's where the reason why we're not at war with China is because they have either through blackmail, like an Epstein Island type thing, or just some sort of monetary thing, you've captured people higher up. So the people that the reason why we're not maybe going to war with someone is because they're bought off and they have a couple penthouses and they're like, yeah, China's not that bad. Well, if you can capture them, why can't you capture the same fucking legislators that passed this bill? So it's either we get rid of TikTok, but we also go all in. You remove all foreign-owned land by China. You remove all the farmland they own near military bases. No more giving them cobalt and silver and gold and all the shit for their electronics. Either go balls in. If you're gonna take out your dick, you either take out the entire fucking thing or don't take out any part of it. Because if you're doing part of it, it seems like you're trying to control the free flow of information. If we're gonna go to all-out war, draft the guys and Dylan Mulvaney and all them, and let's go to war and kill 1 billion people, or don't do it at all.
All right, so you're basically advocating for decoupling with China, which is something I think a lot of people.
If you're gonna do it, do it all.
Do it all.
Don't do this half-ass occupy Afghanistan for 20 years.
Production, no overseas production.
Dude,
no.
I've had on the fucking former like CIA ground branch guys, and they've all said to a T. They're like, "Here's how 9/11 should have been handled. The evening of 9/11, we should have hit them with several thermonuclear warheads, and it would have been over. Instead, we occupied it for 20 years and got nothing done. So get rid of TikTok, fine." But get rid of bleach the entire slate, or don't do it at all, because then it just looks like they're going to use it to clamp down on misinformation.
So speaking of,
I don't mean to hijack your show. I'm getting jacked up. Sorry.
Oh no, this is good, Tommy. We love this. This is actually exactly why we brought you on, because you oftentimes are always the host, and you get to chime in here and there, but I don't know how often you get to be a guest, and so. We're honored that you get to be a guest.
Yeah, almost never.
So, how many times do you get the back shots on your back?
Exactly.
Oh, him?
Yeah. I'm always doing the work. I'm always making sure they finish. I'm always. Oh, your wife's not coming home yet. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, no, yeah. I'll put on the Boy Scout badge, whatever you want, Scoutmaster. I work with all the kinks.
Okay, so
I feel like that was a little bit too close to home.
Okay, so
Jay's like just fucking. Jay's like browning out from like a 30-year repressed memory. He's like, oh Jesus. It's like, that wasn't baseball.
Oh god.
Oh my
Quran
god.
School is the best.
Which Quran School? that was some wild days back then.
Yeah, I'll do anything to be a good jihadist, sure.
So obviously, so Tommy, obviously one thing you can't do is become RFK's running mate, because you obviously would be canceled by CNN for this. But you're saying this stuff out publicly. What if you said this shit in private? Then you'd be fucked even harder. Just like Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, well, yeah. What was that? What did he say?
Aaron Rodgers supposedly said 11 years ago, this is in 2013, to Pamela Brown, who's one of the CNN journalists who wrote the story as well. And there's no like recording of this.
No, I mean, listen.
He basically said, before Jay goes off on a fucking bender here. Basically, Aaron Rodgers said he brought up doubts of the Sandy Hook massacre in 2012 and how it was staged, and that there were crisis actors, and that the government was up to no good. And basically, they're reporting on it now, like a day or two after RFK Jr. announced his short list of running mates, and Aaron Rodgers being one of them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Listen to how insane this fucking story is.
Jay, go off.
So this Pamela chick goes on with Jake Tapper saying that 12 years ago, there was a conversation I had with Aaron Rodgers, which I didn't report on as a reporter.
Right.
These were just private conversations.
It's not like Aaron Rodgers. It's not like
make any notes. I had no fucking recordings, nothing. But you're gonna believe my word over anyone else's.
It's not like Aaron Rodgers wasn't a public figure back then either.
Right. Exactly
He
right.
was already a Super Bowl champion.
And then they have it where, you know, Jay Caper is corroborating this report because Pamela told him about the story. So now it's corroborated.
Yeah.
Look how amazing this fucking thing goes all the way around, and how we're supposed to look at these journalists like CNN, all these people as unbiased, objective, honest reporting individuals, and not complete propaganda agents who are sons and daughters of fucking the sleaziest fucking whores you find on the corners of like J Street that get spit on. Like their eyes are so crusted the next morning for how much spit gets in their face from being such fucking whores.
Right. So what's so wild about this story, Tommy, and I'll let you weigh in here in just a second, is that they specifically, and I heard this particular line being used, is that that Aaron Rodgers is continuing to spread espouse more and more pain upon the victims' families. This is something he said in private 11 years ago.
Oh yeah, this Jim, whatever the fuck
Jim
his
Sciutto.
name, Jim Sciutto, another CNN agent. And I call him agent because he's a fucking. These are foreign adversaries, domestic terrorists. Honestly, these are these are the type of people we need to fucking ban and like actually get into prison. So he says, I never understand how and why Sandy Hook conspiracy theorists continue to torture parents who suffer the worst tragedy, blah blah blah, like he gives a fuck. So I said, like, these fucks, it's CNN who's bringing this story up from a private conversation, reopening the wound for Sandy Hook parents and all this type of stuff. Not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had a private conversation. He's not going from podcast to podcast talking about Sandy Hook.
Yeah, if anything, I actually would say
no
that
idea he even talked about Sandy Hook whatsoever until then.
It's actually very much. I did not know Aaron Rodgers' position about Sandy Hook until this week, because
we don't even know.
He's never even fucking talked about it.
We don't even know if that's really his position or not.
Right,
either.
but even then, like, he's never publicly stated anything. So how are you going to hold him to something he may or may not have said 11 years ago?
It does make me like him more, though. Because who's to say that he wasn't just fucking having a drink and like talking shit?
Probably just talking shit. Yeah, he could probably.
Who hasn't had a drink and be like, yeah, I don't know, the government might have done 9/11, even if they're not serious. Like everyone that's like a real human, right? It's like it's like why most people didn't care when Trump said grab him by the pussy. Every male in the country, even every great, like, loving, like, faithful husband was still just like, it's a dude being a dude. Fuck off. Like, who hasn't ripped the bong and been like, they might have taken down the Twin Towers. I mean, they've done worse shit. Like, who hasn't just said that, like, half jokingly? So fuck off.
Right.
Like, I think it's funny.
What was that clip that we just that you threw up, Spencer?
Makers to celebrities, the whole country really is talking about the people and what happened in Newtown.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers getting in on that as well today. He shares what he hopes will come from this tragedy.
I hope that we can learn from this and look for the signs more, and not ever have something like this happen, and keep this on our minds, because these are things that affect all of us directly or indirectly, and this needs to be something that we learn from.
These are the kids who did 9/11. I heard it. He said it. No wonder why they got shot.
And Aaron Rodgers tweets. Aaron Rodgers posts this today. Says, I'm on the record saying in the past, what happened in Sandy Hook was an absolute tragedy. I am not and have never been of the opinion that the events did not take place. Again, I hope that we learn from this and other tragedies to identify the signs that will allow us to prevent unnecessary loss of life. It's exactly what he said in that clip 12 years ago. My thoughts and prayers continue to remain with the families affected, along with the entire Sandy Hook community. So what do you think, Tommy? You think this is just a one big smear because Jake Taper of all people has specifically spoken out before RFK actually ran for president, how dangerous he thinks RFK Jr. is being an anti-vaxxer before even COVID was around?
Yeah, well, he did have that. Yeah, RFK was that for a while. I mean, first of all, it's clearly a smear, but second of all, I mean, Jay got to it, though. Is what happens if RFK wins? Then he all of a sudden looks at this and goes, foreign adversary. but really, where do you think this will go? Legitimately, where does anyone think this will go? Think the president's just going to get it and be like, all right, let's not abuse it?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Fuck right off. They're not going to abuse it. So that, but also, I mean, it is a smear against them. It is. I mean, but these are also the people that the entire, like, It's like Inception. It's like the dream's collapsing. The Overton window is expanding so quick, so fast. It's the same people that I think it might have been a CNN reporter, but they're like, you have to understand who this RFK figure is. I mean, he's saying things like they'll do to me what they did to my father, and it's like provably shoot him in the head. Like that's what are you talking about? They killed his uncle and his dad. Like that's not you can't like step back anymore and be like, this guy's a real whack job. The former head of CIA counterintelligence, James Jesus Angleton, said towards the end of his career, and they asked him, they said, did the CIA whack Jack? Jack was a nickname for JFK. Instead of just saying no, one syllable, 2 letters. Instead of just saying no, he said, the CIA is a large mansion, and I have not been in all the rooms. What the fuck? He didn't say no. He didn't even say hogwash.
He's like, it's possible.
He gave some like fucking like wink and a nod, and then I think another one of his quotes are like, the founders of the CIA are all demons and they're burning in hell. And he took a drink and said, and I'll be there with them shortly. I mean, this is who these people are. So like, you can't look at this and be like, oh, this is crazy. Like, why wouldn't I think Tim Dillon said it. This is the nicest thing they've done to a candidate. Like, like this is, they normally do a fucking lobotomy in a lobotomized Cadillac. Instead, they're like, hey, RFK thinks there's snake venom in vaccines. Like, this is the sweetest way they've ever done this.
Towards RFK, you mean?
To any Kennedy. But seriously,
to any Kennedy, yeah, for sure.
I mean, even the 2020 election was the sweetest way they've removed a president ever. It was with ballots.
Probably the nicest
it was
way.
Actually, they put little banners on his Twitter and they kicked him off of fucking whatever YouTube or vice versa.
Yes.
That's the sweetest way they've ever done this.
And still, they then use like, all right, you've been visited by the FBI because of all of the things that you did on J6. We're not going to name them, right?
I coordinated and funded it.
As obviously. He's like the Saudi Arabia of J6.
Dude, no, I'm very lucky in that I went there and recorded everything. Or I was just watching from a distance and just I've read enough. I've read enough that I remember I was watching it and I was looking around and I saw them start breaking windows and I went, you can hear me on the camera. I go, fuck this shit. I walk right because you can start to see the riot police come out. I'm like, dude, I'm a geek about this shit. I love reading about continuity of government. All of this includes plans to just lay waste to protesters. Everything is just like start killing because you don't know if they're foreign adversaries. But I legitimately like. So if they visit me,
right, and you're not even bullshitting. You were visited by the FBI.
I am so far down the totem pole of actual threats that if they already have the resources to get to me, how much longer until they come to you or anyone else that uses some?
Well, we already know website, Jay, because let's be honest, we're both brown, and I'm actually surprised that we haven't been assassinated yet,
dude. I'm pretty sure
by our own people. Specifically,
it'd be by your own, yeah.
You know what this whole thing is?
What?
We're each other's psyop.
Or we're each other. No. We're each other's fed.
Yes,
yeah, we're each other's fed. That's what we're doing.
That's so romantic.
And honestly, that was very nice of the government to pair us up together.
I know. And then we fell in love, and look at this. We're raising family together.
Hey, who would have thought?
Not me.
Hey, speaking of psyops, James O'Keefe seems like he would do anything to get a story. I wonder, like, it's like a South Park episode with James O'Keefe because he like goes undercover as a gay guy, gets married to the guy that he's spying on, and that's
oh, I'm almost there. Oh, he's like, nice try, buddy. Like,
no, I had a tweet doing the same thing. It's like James O'Keefe bag of evidence. He's got a cock in his mouth. He's like, "Oh, tell me something we already know. Tell me something we already know." And then he goes, South America was killed by Hillary. Oh,
I gotcha.
I said,
his ass.
He leaves the frat house and shits out all the cum, and he goes, "Give this whole bag of evidence." That's what it is, though, right?
Exactly.
That's how it ends, dude. This is
South Park
exactly how it's gonna end. The guy has been catfishing so many gay guys in DC. It's insane.
I'm just wondering, where does he take this? Like, how gay does James O'Keefe have to get
to get the story. That's well, I mean, when
that's what it's become. That's what it's
become.
become. It's no longer about like, oh, this is
everyone recognizing
information
that
that he got out of
That's
this.
what I'm saying.
It's no longer about the scoop that he got from that particular investigation. It's literally like the story is how gay did James
how many gay guys just have a thing for like him, and they're just like, oh, I'm fucking getting this. I'm going out there. I'm gonna
be the one who changes him.
We should get James O'Keefe on the show and just ask him how many times he put out on
how many gay guys, like not even politically oriented, were just like, I'm gonna fuck this guy and I'm just gonna let him think I have something. He's like, you know, just casually on the first date, like, yeah, I work for Pfizer, Northrop Grumman, CIA. I mean, like, James,
right? No, we fuck aliens every other night.
But honestly, like James O'Keefe is at least such a like he within like
recognizable.
He's so recognized, exactly. Right. So recognizable. He's such a well-known figure. He puts on glasses, acting like he's Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I've never. Whoa.
Where'd Tommy go?
What the fuck? Who is this stranger?
Hey.
But he really is. I was just thinking, like, it's like Superman. He's like,
yeah,
like, and they're like, oh, who's this guy? Who's this guy who's like aiming his tit at me, and it suspiciously looks like an aperture. It's like, so how many kids did you guys behead on Epstein's Island? Like, but I just hope there's some smart gay guy just playing the tables against them. He's like, I don't know, maybe I'll tell you next date or something. I just hope there's a guy that's like watching him and like fucks him in the ass, and then it's just like, all right, I won't release my fucking webcam if you don't release yours.
Oh god!
I would pay to watch that. That's good.
Dude, you would probably pay to watch the full like the full sex tape that they make.
Can you imagine a gay guy like counter James O'Keefing James O'Keefe? That'd be fucking brilliant.
That would be wonderful. That would be the ultimate video right there.
That would be amazing.
But who do you think has the balls? Who do you think has the balls to out O'Keefe?
This guy just be some like intelligent gay guy in like DC or something that just James O'Keefe is his type. Maybe he's like a hardcore like Democrat or something. He's just like, I'm gonna fuck this little twink in the air. I'm gonna fuck this faggot. Like he has no idea. Fuck this. Nothing would be more of like a fucking alpha dunk than that. Be like, I hate this guy. I fucked him in the ass. That retard. Like,
dude, that would be so good.
Oh man,
that would be such street cred. Like in your social circles, if you're just like a bunch of like Ivy League gay professors, like, yeah, fuck James O'Keefe. Like, you would be such a legend. Like in your like friend group.
Oh man, honestly, that's like top. That's
can't
like,
make fun of him. He's the guy's gay. You'd be like, yeah, no, I fucked him.
That's front page news. Be like, yeah, hell yeah, I fucked him.
That's exactly. They'd be like, Tommy, is it true you fucked Emma Watson? I'd be like, oh no, yeah, I did. Like, no. That would be like anyone that I knew would just be like, oh, what up, Kerrigan? Like high five me. Like that's sick. Yeah, you pretended to interview her, but like, yeah, like that would be nothing but cool.
Man, he probably has. That gay guy probably has the sorest hand from all those high fives.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I can see
it would
it.
turn into South Park though. It'd just be James O'Keefe getting fucking railed out by a train of gay guys. We're like, yeah, we all work for Pfizer. Like,
we all got something to share for you.
Yeah.
And each one of them just gives them a word out of a paragraph. One word.
It's like Hangman. James, they're like guessing another letter. He's like A. They're like wrong. Get over here. Great on the balls. James is like, fuck. No one ever talks about this part of journalism.
Oh god. Oh man. So
they're all just wearing like the syringe uniforms from that like Stephen Colbert SNL. Yeah, like, vaccine. They're all wearing that. They're like, yeah, we all work for Pfizer.
Actually, hold on. I think we actually have that video on hand, if I'm not mistaken. I keep all the shit saved on StreamYard.
For the oh hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's
sorry.
Imagine like 40 of those guys human centipeding James O'Keefe in a Washington D.C. penthouse. Just fucking 90 of them leapfrog.
Oh, that's.
I'm gonna get the story.
It's
So you do. It's like South Park when Randy's like, he's like, "You're the best." He's just saying to himself,
No one's ever
"You're the
gonna
best
think-
investigative journalist ever."
Oh man, it would be the montage of him doing like different sized butt plugs and stuff, getting ready for the whole thing.
God,
Yeah.
I love how this conversation has been
They're just-
completely derailed by James O'Keefe just taking it to the absolute max.
They're not even giving him Pfizer documents. They're just reading the comments on my video. They're like, "Do you know that we're giving them blood clots for the for revelations?" James is like, "No, noted, interested."
Who would have thought that James O'Keefe would become just an absolute slam piece for all these gay guys in government?
Just imagine his next one now coming out. I'll be laughing my ass off. It was like demon worshippers confirmed.
Jesus,
Vaccine is
they,
for the
but the
rapid-
blurred out video, instead of them being at some at like the Olive Garden, it's just you see a bunch of blurred out faces from the ground level up, looking at a bunch of guys just going, just a bunch of fucking sweaty bears, just like, yeah, no, it's revelations. James is like, what they didn't know is that I was recording them. I was recording them cum in my hair.
They don't know I'm straight and undercover.
Oh God!
And then it just pans back to O'Keefe giving the presentation. It's like, dude, does he have AIDS? Like he looks like his health is just like he's like ashen and gray. He's just like
He walks in with crutches.
he has like an IV. He's giving the report from a fucking hospital bed. He's like, what they didn't know is that I was recording. Like, dude, does he have lesions?
Dude, like a Stephen King.
What's so great is they all knew he was recording.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. It just exactly no. It's just like, yeah, we have like an infrared camera. We were like, we could see the thing.
We all knew. Why do you think we invited you to Key West? We knew exactly who you were.
The gay guys are like pulling the webcam when James is like in the shower. They're like picking it up and they're like, "What's up, faggot?" Just right back and like we know.
Oh,
James O'Keefe doesn't know what we're about to do to him.
Oh, look at me, revelations! I'm a demon. Fucking.
Okay, to get this conversation back on track.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I forgot.
No, that's okay. I feel like we could riff about James O'Keefe being gay for the until the end of time. I mean, we should do a series of just following James O'Keefe in his gay expeditions. Honestly, there's enough content there.
It really is. We should just pitch this to South Park and just watch them do this is a perfect episode.
They already did the episode.
Which one?
It was when the cop went undercover as a woman and went into a frat house and basically. This episode was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it is an old one. You brought it up, Jay.
Literally
said it in the stroke out. Like
he probably did.
Maybe I don't know.
I could see that. It's okay. By the way, not the most lighthearted story, but there was a non-binary student in Oklahoma who apparently died, but everybody said that the non-binary student was beat up and therefore beat to death. And it turns out an autopsy report revealed to at least this week that the teenager sadly took her own life.
Wait, hold the fuck on. Are you saying a trans person committed suicide?
Non-binary.
Isn't that fucking trans?
Jay,
Under the same
we're splitting hairs here.
Yeah, exactly. But not about the suicide because they kill themselves at like an exorbitant amount.
Apparently though, Biden issued a statement on this specifically.
Yeah, he said that he understands the parents' pain because Bo was also a trans person who hung himself.
No, he didn't. I was like, no fucking way he said that.
My son Bo was killed by a suicide.
My son Bo was killed by Dylan Mulvaney 15 years ago.
So next, Benedict, who is the non-binary middle school student who tragically took their own life, they continue to, at least until this day. I don't know if would you say that the Biden administration pushed this narrative? Were they part of that false narrative that they pushed?
Dude, the whole thing is the same machine between them and their agents in the media and everything. It's all part of the same machine. So they're all pushing the same narrative and the same thing. They didn't come out with a statement saying anything about the bullying,
right?
Like all of the media was doing. but they did come out with a statement here.
They did say, in memory of next, we must all recommit to our work to end discrimination and address the suicide crisis impacting too many non-binary and transgender children. By the way, no such thing as non-binary or transgender children, since they can't consent to that shit.
Well, that's what they want to do, because of course, as we were talking about the rapture, they want to make sure that they stuff as much cum in these kids as possible. So when the rapture does happen, the demons will have veal, like a buttered up veal.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm following.
ADD on local says Biden will definitely call they them eggs Benedict. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God. All right. So Tommy, I don't know if you I feel like this story is just like too involved in the culture war, and I know you're kind of like you're like on a different playing field altogether. Because
I hate everyone. No, I mean you just have to zoom out though and be like, you can't take any of this, just like we can't take the fucking TikTok ban seriously if China's allowed to buy farmland near like JSOC headquarters. At the same time, no part of me can remotely take this seriously.
Right.
We've given like $1 trillion to just perpetuate a meat grinder in Ukraine. No, you can't say any of this with a straight face. Be sad about it is horrible. I'm sorry for that kid's parents, but the administration, any administration, not just Biden, Trump, whoever, whatever this machine is, that you can't for a second take it seriously when we're just, I mean, truly turning an entire generation of people into like chili meat on a battlefield with drones. And then we're like, I'm sorry, this kid, it can't be sincere. It rationally cannot be sincere. The same person cannot hold those same feelings.
Because what you're basically saying is that since they don't value human life, because
if they ended every war, if Biden ended every war and pulled back every troop and said this, I would be like, maybe.
Yeah.
But you can't. You cannot with a straight face. And it's not even like, well, you know, these are the hard realities of geopolitics. It's like we've told Ukraine several times like to not go not go negotiate. We're perpetuating this shit
with Russia.
Yeah, exactly. We're perpetuating this shit. You cannot. No part of me can even begin to entertain it. Like I feel bad for that family, but it's all such dog shit. This is all just. I think they're just really leaning into the psyop so that when they start drafting women in 3 years to go fight China, people will be like, they do care. They do care. Remember next? Yeah,
they do.
So we want to shift gears a little bit because this is something we're doing new. And we're actually dovetailing. This is what we did in the past. We basically did a monthly list stream, but we're actually going to include a list like revisit. We're going to revisit the list every Thursday. And Tommy, you're our inaugural guest for this, so congratulations.
Cheers.
There's a butt plug waiting for you outside.
And we do this shirtless.
Oh yeah, we got it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, Tommy, you got to get on this.
I have to.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Tommy.
I feel like James O'Keefe. All right, what are you guys doing? No, Tommy, we're going to give you the Pfizer ingredients. I'm like, all right.
We want to let you know what this all is.
Oh, look at that cross.
Oh, nice.
That actually,
it's the match with my Arabic.
I was just gonna say, Jay, that he's gonna have to take that off since he took Shahada.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
No. Keep it on. Keep it on. No, we're not gonna get dinged for you.
I don't give a fuck. People ask me why do I'm like my aunt gave it to me when I was 7. Fuck off.
Hey, we respect your aunt.
Jesus was my boyfriend.
He was Jesus. He and James O'Keefe ran away
together.
Yeah.
So we don't have that many candidates, so we actually aren't publishing a top 10 just yet. But what we are going to do is show you some of our candidates for the list this past week. Starting off,
you know the list, right?
You're familiar with the list, right?
Yeah.
So the list is a power ranking of the worst takes you've seen on Twitter, now X. Basically started in 2019 because what's his name? George Conway. No, George Conway. Sorry. George Conway dunked on his wife, Kellyanne Conway. And that's what I was like, why are you dunking on your wife in public? And you could tell, like, basically by the tone and tenor of that particular tweet, it was like serious. It wasn't like, it wasn't trolling. It was like, oh, haha. Like,
it was. And it's so funny, like, how small, and he is a small man, like, size wise, but like, how small do you have to be to be so jealous of your wife being in a position you wanted to be in, because he wanted to be in the administration. He wanted George Conway. He wanted to be in the Trump administration.
Do you
and
think
he didn't
it's
get
a form of like cuckoldry? Do you think he likes it?
Probably.
Probably.
Well, they're not together anymore, so it
Not
doesn't
it-
matter.
Oh, they're not. Oh, okay. Oh,
Anyway.
it's real.
So this
Right.
first tweet comes from Jill Filipovich, who has made the rounds as a lefty feminist writer, responding to the State of the Union last week, in which Joe Biden says killed by illegal, and she responds, "Ugh, Joe, why? He was a fucking illegal.
Yeah.
Killed Lincoln Riley.
Right. He got the name wrong.
Lincoln, yeah, he
Didn't
called him
apologize-
Lincoln
didn't
Riley.
apologize for that, but he apologized for the illegal.
He
It's like what you
He
were saying
apologized to the
before.
murderer for calling them illegal.
Right. And it was like what you were saying before. Like, you can't take these elites seriously. I mean,
No.
they care more about the word illegal being used than the actual 22-year-old nursing student that was killed by this person.
Yeah.
So it's like, so why do we have to listen to any of your other moral stances if this is the most pressing matter to you when that family is grieving over the death of her child because an illegal, and not just any illegal alien, it was an illegal alien from one of the Venezuelan gangs
Yeah,
as well.
and they even pulled the Norm Macdonald joke where all the Venezuelans were worried about the backlash on them.
Yeah.
How different do you think that, not to hijack away from the list, how different do you think modern liberalism would be if iPhones existed on 9/11? How many people do you think, how many like videos on like World Star do you think would be if people on the upper floors? Do you think they'd just be like, those fucking Arabs? Or do you think there'd be people like, well, we don't know the color of their skin yet? Like, how many people would you think would be that? Or do you think it'd be like the Dark Knight where it'd be like, in their final moments, people show you who they really are? Would you just see a bunch of people like just punching people that look like Siraj?
Whoa, hold up! I am
Well, it
punching people
depends.
that look like Jay. Okay,
Yeah, because I'm the actual type of Arab that flew into the buildings. He's the type of
Yeah.
actual Arab that hides us like bitches.
Okay.
that's right. I'm more of the what do you call it? I'm more of the harboring of fugitives.
Yes.
Type.
You're an Abbottabad Pakistan kind of guy.
I'm the Abbottabad.
He is the Pakistan.
You're a billionaire architect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, you know what's really weird? And I found this out after I moved here.
And you're both controlled by a guy that looks like me in Langley. Sorry.
No,
Because it's all true.
Well, it's all funny because the thing is like, Siraj, what are we next to? Where you moved over here?
when we moved down here, I realized where we were.
Oh, you buy that flight school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we talked about it the first time we
I
ever
think we
spoke.
should talk about this.
It wasn't even like a podcast. It was just like casual banter. Like,
Casual banter.
It's wild shit, dude.
sorry to hijack that, but no, the whole
good.
all get
I mean,
illegal. Why?
It's
How
actually
many-
very rare that a white guy hijacks it from an Arab, right?
Yeah.
It's
all
very
fair.
from a Muslim, yeah.
But really, I mean, how much do you think of this would change if we had iPhone video of people like?
Dude, I think we would have gone a lot harder because what we would have seen is a lot of people in distress calling for their loved ones and trying to survive and everything. And when you have a video like that, like Bush would have no other answer other than nuking the absolute fucking shit out of it.
It's so
Yeah.
I mean, we went to war for as long as we did in Iraq over people just falling out of the building. We don't have much.
No, you're right.
much
There's like one or two phone calls from the inside. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have much video of the deaths or the people coming out in body bags. Like we don't have that like we do now. So imagine you're seeing that. You're seeing, John.
But you also have to like.
all that kind of
But here's the thing: you have to have like, basically, you would have had to have cell phones exist for quite some time, like in the way that they exist now.
Yeah. Just like
Like they'd have to, modern day technology, not like, people just starting to use the shit because it.
No, just imagine right now this on
It takes time to brainwash people, basically.
Right.
In this case, about 15, 20 years.
Yes, and it would take them some time to actually, get the best pose, get it in boomerang mode, post it on their Instagram, being like hashtag I can't believe this is happening. That kind of takes some time for that to happen.
like Windows in the world. They're like, fuck it, martinis, like pinkies out.
Last day here on Earth.
Okay, I'm gonna kiss him.
I'm gonna do a TikTok
do it.
video. How long do you think it's gonna take me to splat on the floor? I say 15 seconds. I might splat before the TikTok ends.
It's the jump challenge. New jump challenge. All right.
Sorry for hijacking that. Yeah.
Oh no, you're okay, Habibi. You're okay. All right. Next one, we got New York Magazine Communications tweets out. New York Magazine's latest cover story is an essay by critic Andrea Long Chu, who makes the moral case for the right of anybody at any age to change their sex.
You know, the funniest thing about this, though, and I don't know why we don't have the other tweet up, but the same author, after writing this, sent a GoFundMe tweet about a friend of hers who had a botch sex change surgery to help with her botched sex change surgery. So she's over here.
Are you talking about this one?
No, that's who she is.
Oh,
I'm talking about after she wrote this story and tweeted it out. She talked about how like one of her friends is in desperate need of like surgery, like to fix the botched sex change surgery. Like that's how fucking wild this whole fucking thing
bro.
is.
I mean, how much would ammunition cost?
A sex change? Well, I mean, just to get
ammunition. It was a joke about you. It was a joke about you fix it by killing him.
Yes, that's exactly.
It's because Jay's death.
Honestly, we know that this problem just takes care of itself. If you just let the time go on long enough, they hang themselves.
But like honestly,
it's crazy.
Hold on. One thing I have to ask you about, and I really want to get your honest take on this, Tommy, is doesn't it all feel like that this part of the psyop is that it's just a method of population control, whether it's sterilization or just basically forcing people to kill themselves by putting them on puberty blockers that they don't feel themselves.
Yeah, no, I think I think at a certain point you can no longer deny that they are trying to slow down reproduction by any means, because war actually isn't that effective of a way. If you look at 1944, the population in 1945, I believe, was around 2 billion, which is 1/4 of what it is now. World War II, a liberal estimation of all deaths, including civilian, was 85 million. 85 times 10 would be 850, times 2 would be 1.7. So it's 120. It was less than 1/20th, because 1.7 is still less than 2 billion. Less than 1/20th of the population died in World War II. Like, we're not going to have that again. Right. Wars have been going down by gross and percentage deaths.
The biggest loss of life in such a short period of
time.
It
went down. It was Korea, and then after Korea was Nam, and then after Nam we have the war on terror. With all civilian deaths and U.S. deaths, it's still less than everything else. It's going down and down and
what
down.
You're saying is now
war is not effective anymore.
We're so privileged now that we're crying about 30,000 people dying in Gaza. But we're taking the Hamas health ministry at their word.
I mean, we also killed something like 400,000 people died in the bombing of Dresden over 2 days.
Yeah, the firestorm.
Insane. Like the first day of Guadalcanal, we lost 8,000 Marines. We lost 7,500 in 20 years in the war on terror. But to answer your question, no, war is no longer an effective way to cull the population. It's mathematically it's not, and they don't want, as again Tim Dillon says, they don't want nuclear war. They all like their penthouses and eating caviar out of a horse pussy. They can't do that in an irradiated planet. Look, I love reading about continuity of government and bunkers. Those things are sparse. Those things are Spartan. They don't want to live there. There is no effective way to cull the population, be it sterilization or be it, I think, they're driving you to, even if you don't change your sex, they are driving the idea of, you cannot deny that they're perpetuating self-hatred. There's no concept of marriage, of go forth and multiply. There is no concept or even cultural hint at settle down. It's I'm a bad bitch. I don't need a husband. And guys are I'm a fucking chick now. They're clearly pushing it. Now, if it's all orchestrated or if it's just an emergent phenomenon, I don't think it really matters. The end result is the same. No one's having families.
It's a good point. Next tweet. This is from Ari Denon, who apparently makes a very convincing trans woman. Right?
No.
Look, honestly, it's kind of amazing what you can do with hundreds of thousands of dollars in plastic surgery and shit.
It's like the South Park where they cure AIDS. Magic Johnson's the cure is money. It's just money.
and he probably has like bigger hands than all of us as well. So and a bigger dick. So what you have to
Oh
understand.
yeah, dude, Ari's packing.
Oh, you know he is.
Yeah.
You know he's packing a big dick.
Fucking slut.
He didn't even have to change his name, I'm sure.
Yeah, Ari.
Yeah, Ari.
Even the last name.
A gay fucking name. Do you know what's really funny too? What's his name? Not Mr. Hinky. The
Mr. Hat.
No, not Mr. Hat. Mr. Garrison.
Yeah.
So you remember the episode of Mr. Garrison where it wasn't just one episode, it was like a series of episodes where he went through a section.
Yeah.
And then he became a lesbian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget the names of this person who's in Congress who did just that. And not just him, his partner too. So instead of just being two gay lovers, they went and did sex changes and became lesbian lovers. It's the funniest fucking thing I have ever witnessed at all. And it goes back to like maybe the CCP should rule over us so we can just
that is kind of like another point. Another part of me is like, are we just watching like End Stage Empire?
Right.
And maybe
the world, it's done.
It's I mean, on one hand I don't like China, but on the other hand I'm like, how every religion points to this as being like, oh, there's the signs of the ends, like Satan is taking over this world. Like this is not like every book is like this is what it is. It's not like necessarily volcanoes. It's like this shit. Right.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say I hate China, but I hate these faggots more.
Well, that's kind of what I said. Much more like,
I mean, it was he kind of beat around the bush there. But
here's my translator.
So Ari Denon tweets out, every trans suicide is a murder. Remember next Benedict. So way to just like change the definition.
No, but also if he wants to say it that way too, then that means them pushing this notion that they need to change their sex to be happier. They're the murderers. People like Ari are the murderers. They are murdering these kids.
100%.
They're putting them through these puberty blockers. They're putting them through all of these different processes of different people affirming their self-hatred. Like this is not affirming care. This is affirming self-hatred. You're going in saying like, oh, I hate myself and my body. Mm-hmm. You're right. You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking ugly fucking man.
These people need God.
Chop your dick off. Like,
if people realize that, like, and this is what the kind of the trademark of like a godless society. And I say this speaking, knowing full well that Jay's an atheist. But if you believe in a higher power created you and that creator made you to perfection, why would you go against God by destroying yourself? Why?
Well, it's the same idea of like, you look at women and it's like these are unrealistic beauty standards, right? Or right? No, but really, right? And it's like they're driving women to like hate them.
These people aren't real.
Well, they're also not real, but you can't get that truth on X. But like, no, but really, right? It's like an unrealistic beauty standard. It's like that's not real, right?
Right.
And but you look at this and then it's like, if you were, what's like the meme where it's like, it's like the like Anglo explorer coming to the Americas and being like, I'm sorry, but the human sacrifices will stop. And it's just like you like that, like looking at like the Aztecs or something like, or the Mayans, like you're not chopping off 100,000 babies' heads to like the sun god anymore. Like, imperialism, colonizing, probably bad in a vacuum, but we don't live in a vacuum. You come here and you see that, you go, they are barbarians, right? That is savagery. If you're coming from like China and you're just, I don't know, like a farmer, it's just like, I would imagine just kind of the same global standards of gender roles, like a guy, you're like dad, raise strong kids, have a family, go respect your mother, all that stuff. And you came to the US and like, not only it's like, I get the whole communist thing, like, oh, like the opulence is bad, but if you saw like what we were like perpetuating to kids, would you not come here and be like, yeah, no, they're godless demons, like they need to go, they're driving kids to kill themselves,
like through elementary school,
100%
kind of stuff. Absolutely.
I was saying this on the previous go ahead.
I was gonna say last time I was in DC, I took an Uber ride with this African guy, and we were just sitting down, and I don't usually talk to Uber drivers. It's like, just shut the fuck up, I'll give you 5 stars.
People, yeah.
But he saw a rainbow flag, a car with a rainbow flag coming through, and he's like, look at this bullshit. Look at this fucking shit.
Yeah.
They're destroying your country. How can you guys allow this stuff to destroy your country? Look, and he just goes on a rant. A boy is a boy. A boy plays soccer. A woman cooks food. You don't mix. I don't understand. Like, how do you think a boy is a girl and a girl is a boy and all this type of stuff? He's like,
Well,
and he's talking about his kids back in like Zimbabwe or whatever the fuck. And he like whatever African country. There's Zimbabwe.
You could have just stopped in
Niger.
Zimbabwe.
There's Niger.
I'm not even going to address that.
And then
of all people, I am
he
the last
has
person
his
I
kids over there.
glow.
He has his kids over there. It's like, so when you bring them over here? He's like, I'm not fucking bringing them over here. Fuck that.
Why would
Yeah, especially if they're going through a country.
Well, then there's the Voltaire quote: "Those who can convince you of absurdities can make you commit atrocities."
Right.
How long from a guy is a girl and a girl is a guy to you to they're not people?
And it goes, I mean, this is just another instance of sort of that normalization of absurdity. This is from Adrian Adams, who's the New York City, speaker of what the fuck? Of the assembly or some shit? I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah, speaker assembly.
City council speaker. Okay. She says, supporting women and birthing people of color whose lives are threatened by persistent health disparities is part of expanding safety for New Yorkers. We must support mothers and parents' mental health and well-being with postpartum care. # moving forward together. It's the birthing people that really.
I mean, just smash that button, Putin. Just fucking
just
launch from Sverdlovsk.
It's what you were saying. Like, it dehumanizes them. Like, you can't call them mothers anymore. You can't call them mothers. You can't call them. I mean, because mother has as
we deviate from these things, you know, how dare you gender them, or it moves from like LOL, we live in clown world, to like now it's the norm. Just like setting a precedent to saying this is a foreign adversary website.
Right.
We're setting the precedent to now it's going to be. I mean, more people were upset about calling it the China virus than the fact that it was a fucking virus.
Right.
That killed, by the way, twice as many Americans than World War II did. Okay.
Right.
All right. We're more angry about the wording.
That's an act of war as well, by the way.
425,000 Americans dead in World War II. Over double that from the virus alone, let alone the vaccine.
Right.
Which
and we're not making them pay for any of the loss of life. We're not making them pay for all the loss of businesses. We closed down in California.
Fuck not letting him pay. You're not allowed to say it. We are so far from like, we're not firebombing Germany hard enough. We're at a point of going like, hey, don't call them proud. I know they're turning Jewish women into lamps, but do we need to call them sauerkraut Nazis?
That's right.
We are so far from like making them pay. We're scared to talk about it.
Fucking Pelosi was like, go to your local Chinese city and go
to Chinatown.
I love orange chicken.
Yeah, but if the further and further we get from a defined set of things to call, this is a water bottle, this has ice in it, you know, this is a phone, we're getting farther and farther away from how long until this, you know, if you think this is crazy, I mean, just look at the last 4 years. What do the next 4 years legitimately hold? I mean, how long until you're not allowed to call a dog? And that sounds silly, but I mean, legitimately, like how long until you're allowed to point out inflation, or is pointing out inflation white privilege? We get farther and farther along until you get to a point where you go, oh, well, they're, you know, enemies of the party, so that's why they have to get in the showers. It starts somewhere, but it does. It starts somewhere. It doesn't just happen overnight.
You could see it. You could see the time that happened. So Prager, the guy with the university and the glasses. Prager. So he was on Bill Maher. I don't know if you've seen this clip, but he was on Bill Maher in 2015 or 2014. And he said there's going to be a point in time where they're going to say men can menstruate.
Oh, yeah.
I have to agree with it. And Bill Maher is like, what the fuck are you saying? You're fucking crazy. And everybody's laughing. Yeah. And like, you know, hearing that, you're like, yeah, this guy is fucking crazy. And now you're like, oh my God, the guy is a fucking prophet. Like, holy shit.
So take that again and look forward and go, what will be the norm in 5 years?
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking insane.
Tommy, how does it feel knowing that you're a prophet?
I mean, I've accepted I'm God. You know, it's a big burden, but, you know, I understand. Wow. So, I'm fucking shocked that Dems are voting to ban TikTok. Why?
So
APAC at work.
So Pam Keith, who is a Democrat, ran for office, I think, in Florida, says, "Wow, I'm fucking shocked that Dems are voting to ban TikTok. This is AIPAC at work." And the community note says there is no evidence that AIPAC is supportive of this legislation, and their PAC has not spent any money promoting it.
Okay, but that isn't that crazy though? How quickly it's just deflected and ricocheted. Instead of addressing the fact that we're now saying you can ban websites, it's immediately there's no evidence it's this and there's no evidence. It's like they just fucking did they're clamping down on your access to information. We're like, hold on, we don't know who did it. What do you mean you don't know who's supportive of it? The U.S. House did it. But it doesn't matter what fucking political action committee. No, the goddamn National Senate just did it. Like
it's insane. It's insane. All right, we got a couple.
Yeah,
got a couple more. Oh, here's the tweet from Jake Tapper that we were discussing earlier. Breaking from me and Pamela Brown.
Jake Tapper is a son of a whore. Legitimately a son of a whore. If you go to Atlanta, Georgia, you can find his mother on the corner of 7th and Sherman Street, waiting to just have cum in her eye. That is what Jake Tapper is.
Jay, you're really close to your camera.
No, I like the
intense.
It kind of looks like you're swallowing your mic.
This is what it.
Don't leash him, Siraj. Let it happen.
Let it happen. Okay.
Why are you trying to silence the truth, Siraj? Oh, I didn't know he was going to do that.
That's ASMR that we should be making the Habibis pay for.
That's what every cock in Atlanta hears from Jake Tapper's mom.
So RFK Jr.'s VP prospect, Aaron Rodgers, has shared false Sandy Hook conspiracy theories in private conversations. That's probably most of this that we already kind of discussed this already, but it just needs to be put on the list anyways. NBC News tweets out Elon Musk and conservative influencers have spread unverified claims to millions, smearing Haitian migrants as cannibals as they endure deep uncertainty about their future of their country and family members still there.
What's amazing about this article and headline though, if you go into the article, they admit that there's videos of cannibalism coming out of Haiti.
There's a warlord. I got a fucking update on my. I have an iMac for the podcast, but I have a window, whatever the fuck for the gaming. And if you scroll over to like the left-hand corner, it pops up like breaking news. The other night after a game stream, I was like, sometimes I hit it by accident and it pulls up articles. And there's the main article was there's a warlord in Haiti whose nickname is Barbecue. Because he fucking this was like 4 days ago.
And there was a video of him eating a cock. Legitimately like eating the cock. I watched it 4 times just to make sure it was like him eating a cock. It was a cock in it.
Haiti sounds like a cool place to go.
Yeah, not at all a shithole.
But this is it. This is it in a microcosm. You can't. It's not important to maybe vet the immigrants to whether or not they eat other fucking humans. It's very bad to point it out. Like
that is like it's very bad to point out you don't know where these Chinese migrants.
Oh my god, there's a second plane. Well, we don't know if that one was hijacked. It could have been 2 accidents, Bill. Like
it could have been grandma just got lost on the turnpike.
It could have been another one hit the Pentagon. It's a big sky out there. All right, let's wait.
Yeah, it's not like they have a map or anything.
Yeah, you know what? It's
maybe they're one of those
no GPS.
They're probably those new Boeing 737s.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
Yeah,
power abhors a vacuum, and there is, I guess, some, and it's not good because we're Americans and we'll all be nuked. But there's something beautiful that power abhors a vacuum. It doesn't matter whether or not we're okay with the way things are going. The more powerful society will win. That's Darwinian.
Rory Metzger on Local says he was eating a cock. I watched it 4 times to make sure.
Well,
I actually have it on repeat.
Thorough investigations.
I have to do thorough investigations. If that's not ridiculous enough to you, go load of this. Mayor Eric Adams tweets out, "We call New York City the Port-au-Prince of America. We feel the pain that our Haitian neighbors feel as their situation grows dire. To the people of Haiti and our own Haitian community here in New York City, know that we stand with you today and always." Readers, added context, not one person has ever said this before Eric Adams.
I hope he's eaten alive.
Cock first.
The part of America
No one's ever said that. No one has ever said that.
Zero people.
Zero
have
people.
called New York
No one's
City.
ever called it the Port-au-Prince of America.
time.
No.
In the history of time,
What the fuck?
nobody.
No. God damn it.
Sports and Nonsense on Rumble says, "Can we be sure it wasn't Jake Tapper's mom eating it?"
We
That's
don't
why I
know.
watched it 4 times.
You have to make sure.
You have to make sure.
Well, because his real mom is a whore from Haiti.
And then Roy on local says, "What's James O'Keefe doing in Haiti?"
I was thinking, I was like, where? There's got to be a James O'Keefe in there somewhere. I'm here with a local Haitian warlord named Barbecue. I sucked him off 19 times in 3 days, and I can attest that he has been eating babies. Like, James, could you go back to that?
No, you remember Reza Aslan from CNN?
Yeah,
They actually allowed Reza Aslan to eat human brains because he was doing this thing of like trying to do undiscover religions of the world and stuff. So he's doing like these deep dive of religions and everything. So he goes into this tribe, Aboriginal tribe, that are cannibalists, and he actually ate a piece of human brain on air.
Christ.
Going through this show.
I started a conspiracy in 2016. I don't know if I was the sole beginner, but I think I was that Hillary Clinton had because of one of her speeches, she had like a sore on her tongue. I said it was a hole. I said, which is a symptom of kuru, Kuru, which comes from eating human meat. So I started that in like October 2016, and I every once in a while, if you Google like Hillary Clinton Kuru, you can still find like old posts, probably from like my alt accounts where I'm like, this bitch eats babies. Like
that's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, no,
we need to go find that.
Yes, we do.
And the final tweet on the list. Now, again, this is a running log here, so we don't actually have a ranking for these yet. We will come up with a ranking at the end of the month for them.
I can't believe Slate didn't get on here.
Well, fucking talk to Ben about this. I'm taking a fucking social media fest, Jay. I haven't seen these tweets at all. You go find it, okay? I'll read this one.
Don't argue in front of me. I hate when you guys fight.
Mom, Dad, stop fighting.
Dad, stop.
So this tweet, which we brought up earlier, President Biden saying, "In memory of Next, we must all recommit to our work to end discrimination and address the suicide crisis impacting too many non-binary and transgender children." Again, there are no such thing as non-binary and transgender children. They don't exist. Not because they all kill themselves, but because they can't consent. They're minors. They're confused about everything.
I mean, we are at the Yuri Bezmenov, the active measures, the Soviet not whistleblower, but like she's so fucking hot. But like imagine like Yuri Bezmenov, we are at the point of demoralization of where you go from like every non-binary suicide is an absolute tragedy, and like the next sentence is like, we are proud to say the Ukrainians have received shipment of 14 Abrams tanks, like which is an 18-ton diesel guzzling death machine with a 120mm cannon. Its treads can go over women and children and gravel with equal apathy. Like, and people are like, this is Slava Ukrainian. It's like, what the fuck? What acid trip are we in? Every non-binary death is a tragedy to like. The CIA just admitted to operating 12 secret base camps from Ukraine, and people are like, "Yeah, it's what they do." You're like,
"Yeah, but Nick's Benedict, how do you like your eggs in the morning?" I honestly like them eggs Benedict. I'm not gonna lie. I make a really
tweet. They're gonna be like, every non-binary death is a tragedy. Next was a good agent.
So this tweet from Slate, which should be on the list log, and this is Ben's fault for not being on there, saying it needs to be said, Sydney Sweeney's boobs are not that big. Readers out of context, yes, they are. It just includes the link to her Instagram, which Jay, please click on it.
Well, I mean, I'm not signed in, so I don't know if it's gonna.
Fucking America. We're not done yet. America's not done yet. We still got some. We still got some. Oh,
Jay.
God damn it. No,
well, there you have it. Some comments on Rumble. Sigh. I was from Sarah Johnson saying, "Sigh. It was a mistake to eat dinner while watching this."
Well,
Well, hopefully it was a Haitian cock.
Yeah.
Sports and Nonsense. Sam says, "I actually fucked and sucked 22 warlords, and they've notified me that the vax is only mildly effective. They then ate my left arm and took my iPad." James O'Keefe. Roy Metzger on Local says it was said by the Brooklyn Borough president in 2015 that Brooklyn is the Port-au-Prince of America. The Brooklyn president in 2015 was Eric Adams. So before we go, Tommy, Jay, are we just gonna? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Obviously,
it's kind of a good. This is kind of a good like palate cleanser.
It really is
from everything we've talked about.
I mean, there was a lot. That's even better.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Spencer. That's why we have Spencer on board, who only he posts.
It's the only thing he could do right.
That's the only thing he could do is just show us cheese tit Tim Nichols.
Jesus Christ.
So you regret coming on the show now?
No, not at all. No, I enjoy it. I like to. You can only do so many interviews with. Wow, you can only do so many interviews with like serious people before you start to. Who's that guy in the back? Hell yeah. I look like James O'Keefe leaving the penthouse, just so full of cum. Oh, I can't bend over.
X-rated story. You got something for us? I many girls. You what? I many girls. 25 girlfriends and I them doggy style. What do you like about that? The titties. Yeah, man. Oh, titties. You have the hot titties, the normal titties, and then the winter titties. We like summer and the spring titties. Appreciate it, man.
I feel like we're just gonna play that every episode.
Every episode, it's gonna come. We have to. You don't know winter titties?
I'm actually not completely familiar with winter titties.
We want to see your nudes. Come on, show us your nudes, baby. Show us the nudes, I love you. We love you. Hello, baby.
Hello, baby. Hello, sir.
The worst thing about that is what every woman who goes on vacation to India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, that's exactly what they see.
Bangladesh too.
Bangladesh too. Like that is it.
There's a guy that came into my video game chat like last week, and he had to have been somewhere in Pakistan because he started yelling at this chick in my chat, but he like couldn't spell. And it wasn't just normal like horny guy like let me see Bob's. He was like I cut your throat and fuck your corpse, but he couldn't spell. So it's actually kind of cute. He's like, I fuck your corpals. And I was like, corpse, it's corpse. And he was like, corpals. And we're like, you can't fuck a corporal. That's not a thing. He's like, I slit your throat. And it was like, you spelled trout. You meant throat. This is why I can't ban TikTok, because how long until that good sir is no longer allowed to scream at me on a video game?
Right.
Anyways, Tommy, well, we really appreciate you joining us. We have to do it again, obviously, because this is just too much fun. Do you have a specific streaming schedule that people can tune in? Obviously, we included the link to your channel in its description, so people can go check you out.
10 a.m., noon, 2 p.m. There's always at least one show Monday through Thursday or Sunday through Thursday at one of those times. There's normally like 2 a day, and then every evening is video game stream on the same channel.
Hell yeah! And what are we playing? What are we playing now? Are we spreading managed democracy?
Are we going to spread democracy tonight?
Do you want to?
I'm doing great at Helldivers. I'll have you know.
Yeah, but are you diving tonight?
Are you diving with us?
You want to dive?
I have it pulled up. You can see the reflection on the game.
Yeah, I can
see it right now. It's up right now. Yeah,
I guess we're gonna go continue. So Jay, you're gonna start up a local stream. We're just gonna hell dive it up.
Let's hell dive it up.
All right, Tommy, we'll connect with you after this.
Thanks for having me. And I apologize if I hijacked that. I have zero etiquette.
No. You are the guest of honor. You're the man of the hour, the guest of honor. We are thrilled I think wax poetic on this stuff.
I think the first 40 seconds was me telling Jay that I bought a gun because of my comment section was getting so weird. So I think right from the get-go, I was just like, this is the energy we're going in with, and just dial it up.
That's what it's going to be. It's perfect.
All right, Habibis. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I've been Siraj Hashmi.
Thank you, Jay Kobbe.
And thank you again, Tommy, for joining us. We'll see you next time on Habibi Power. Have a great weekend. Peace out.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. Take care, everybody. Much love.